This is Damon Patterson of Daym Drops. He's a pretty popular guy. And this is Ken Domick of KBD Productions.
Check it out. You can scratch it. You can sniff it. And I bet the rest is going to be mine.
He's also a pretty popular guy. Aside from popularity, these two guys got one thing in common. No, not atherosclerosis. It's that they're both food reviewers, specifically the kind that eats fast food in their car. They grab the newest and latest item from a fast food joint, eat it, and tell you their thoughts. Nothing too crazy. Well, it turns out that Daym and Ken both agree with me, because the two of them wanted to step up their careers. So on January 17th of 2016, the two of them revealed Cravecon. It was to be a convention all about the foodie community, for all those who loved food. They plan to have multiple YouTube personalities in the food community be there, such as Healthy Junk Food, Cult Moo, Peep This Out, and even Randy Santel. There was going to be live food reviewings, challenges, panels, meet and greet, games, and most importantly, food. All the food you could ever want from the critically acclaimed 4-star restaurant Landry Steakhouse. Then after all the fun and games, they could continue into the night with the VIP Plus after party. And it was all happening August 12th to the 13th at the Galveston Convention Center in Texas.
Saturday, August 13th, 2016, A Crave New World. It's Cravecon! It's Cravecon! We gotta go to Cravecon!
We're going.
Now what do I do?
I guess we gotta go to Cravecon.
Let's go.
Day arrives and it was a total flop. So little show up, they begin to give away tickets for free at the door just to fill the seats. The event had been shortened from a 2-day event to just a single afternoon. Half the original list backed out in advance, and the ones that did arrive had minimal plan for their panels and had clearly been given no direction on what to even talk about. Though for those who didn't want to miss out on the panels, they were able to catch Amazing Facts with Matthew Santoro, Gaming with Bogey, a Q&A with Rob Gavigan, Life on YouTube, and that's it. They only had the 4 panels. The game section was a corner of the room with 5 TVs and accompanying Wii U's, all equipped with Smash Bros. So you could play with the other 5 people in attendance. There was an art gallery of 6 food-related pictures donated by their only sponsor, Checker and Rallies.
I mean, I just see a woman, like, she's real excited about that bowl of noodles, and she's just like, I'm gonna get all up in that. And she just stirs it with her butt.
At this point, half the venue went to IHOP for lunch. It was not included. The attendees returned and they had 3 challenges lined up for them to watch. Randy Santel eating a dozen donuts as fast as he can, and Cult Moo and Reckless Eating both doing a combination drink challenge where the drink had the same consistency of sewage. Then there was the live food review, la pièce de résistance of the evening, which had our Cravecon hosts, Daym and Ken, roll up in a rented Bentley Continental GT to review an already opened pack of Swedish Fish Oreos.
Bentley action. And what better to eat in a Bentley than Oreos? So we had these in the back room, and Chris Reckless decided to open them up and start eating. Say his name again, just in case it ain't here. Chris Reckless was reckless. No, he wasn't. He was just hungry, and he went for it. So obviously he likes them. I grabbed them. All right, confident. Cheers. Cheers. Both. 3, 2, 1. Wow. So obviously he likes them. I grabbed them. Here, buddy. You know, you got your typical Oreo, powder cookies, and then we got this, looks like gum in the middle. It looks like somebody stuck in gum. Crazy. I'm eating a Swedish berry cookie. On my rating scale, Daym, I think I'd give this, I would recommend, but I wouldn't buy it again. I'm glad I tried it, but it's just, like, I'm not that kind of an Oreo kind of guy. Okay. Would you buy that again?
I'm telling you right now, like, if it happened to be there and it was like no other option, I'd probably pick it up. But I wouldn't run out there and like have other options and pick up Swedish Fish. I'd get something else.
People paid money to see this. But what about the food, I hear you ask? What about the food at the foodie convention? Well, it's fine. There's nothing really special about it. It just looks like regular banquet food containing highlights like grilled breast of chicken, bread pudding, and dirty rice.
The food, it was good. Some of it was a little bit colder than I had liked.
Sometime during the lunch, JP of Healthy Junk Food proposed to his then co-creator girlfriend Julia. She said yes. Cravecon then had their closing ceremony, which was pretty much them all linking their YouTube channels for about 30 minutes.
Healthy junk food.
Senior one from Cold Moon. The meeting here from Keep This Out. Eric from Cold Moon. With Chris Reckless and Dan. Advanced Master from Eric TV 365. Randy Santel. Guys, you can find me at www.trollu.virus.creditcardinfo.web.
And then they all retreated into the night. Well, that is until the 21 and over after party, only for VIP ticket holders and creators to attend. Shame only one person had bought in the VIP Plus ticket. Hopefully they had at least decent Wi-Fi. And after that, the first CraveCon was officially over. After the event, it was clear that it was a complete failure, financially and critically. However, Daym released a video addressing all the haters, claiming that it was actually a huge success.
And at the end of the day, I say CraveCon is successful, not because of the number of those in attendance. Because regardless whether it was one person, 10 people, 100, 100,000, CraveCon is successful because we were able to take it from an idea and make it a reality.
His co-creator Ken Domick took a different approach though. Instead of claiming it was a success, he quickly scrubbed the 2 vlogs he had of the event off the internet and hasn't mentioned it since. That became a theme for CraveCon, that no one would talk about it, which is odd because it was supposed to become an annual event. But with the CraveCon Twitter going dark shortly after the event and their Facebook only lasting a year afterwards only to promote Daym's videos, made it clear that CraveCon 2017 wasn't gonna happen. But that begs the question, if it was such a success, then why did CraveCon 2017 never happen, and why did all the content about it stop so abruptly? Daym and Ken both understood that conventions take time to grow, and they seemed ready to be in it for the long haul.
We're gonna let this thing build out and become as big as you want it to be. All right, we have plenty of space to do it. We're gonna take the space that we have, we're gonna start it off small, just to kind of get a feel of what this whole entire CraveCon is gonna be all about, and then we're just gonna keep growing after that, baby. We're just gonna keep going.
So it's a long process when you're trying to start a conference and getting people interested in it.
They knew it was going to be a smaller event. They knew that it wasn't going to be a success right out of the gate. So even if it wasn't a huge success, why did they give up so quickly? Since ideas are a little bit too abstract for me, let's just say that success is financial and reception. Starting with the latter, it's clear it had a bit of a rocky reception. Looking at the comments of any CraveCon related video will quickly show that there are 2 CraveCon camps, people that hated it and people that wanted to see CraveCon 2017. It shows that they had a good amount of critics, but also a good amount of people that wanted to see them succeed. I'll get into the critics later as they bring up so many good points, but what this shows me is that they do have an audience. Well, what about the financial aspect? How much money did they make? To figure that out, we'll need 2 things. To figure out how many people went, and to figure out what type of tickets they sold, because there were 4 different types of tickets. There was the Foodie Pass, which was just for the event, the Creator Dinner Pass, which was just for the dinner, the VIP Pass, which was for both the event and dinner, plus access to the VIP Lounge. Then there was the VIP Plus Pass, which was the same as the VIP, but you also got access to the 21 and over after party. Originally, the VIP Plus Pass would have also allowed you to be in a review or challenge, but at some point that was dropped. Each one of these passes had a different price associated with them. The Foodie Pass was $48 before they got rid of it, but I'm just going to refer to it as $50. The Creator Dinner was $80, the VIP Pass was $150, and the VIP Plus was $250. Perfect. Now that we got the ticket prices, all we gotta do is compare that to how many people showed up. And oddly enough, there's actually quite a bit of disagreement on the actual number of paying attendees, with numbers often ranging from 30 to 50. So to get a better idea, I took a head count of the entire event and got a total of 53. I even added 7 more just in case there was anyone I missed. But that's just the event, so for all I know they only got the foodie pass. So let's look at the amount of people who went to the dinner too. Since there's no good photo of the full dinner, we're gonna have to do an estimate. The dining hall had been set up with 10 tables seating 10 for a total capacity of 100, and even then not all the seats were filled. I'd estimate the room to have no more than 80 people in it. With about 20 of those people being the creators themselves, I feel like saying 60 attendees came to the dinner to be a pretty accurate estimate. That tells me that they at least had 60 people present for each part, so they most likely all had a VIP ticket. Before the event, Ken had even stated that they were expecting a number close to that as well.
They just wanted to go over them. We've sold almost 50. We were going to actually cap the dinner off at 50 people, and we're almost at 50.
For simplicity, let's just say none of them had gotten a free entry at the door or had gotten a free ticket upgrade that they gave out in April. So now let's look at the total possible profit. Multiplying 59 by 150, we get 8,850, plus the 250 from that one lucky guy who bought the VIP Plus ticket, and then we'll also add in an extra 400 to be nice. That leaves us with a very liberal max profit of around 9,500. Okay, so how much did Daym and Ken spend? Well, they had to pay for the 2 event rooms and the after party room, the banquet for around 80 guests, the stuff for the game center, all their equipment, the hotel rooms, all their branded merchandise, the round-trip flights for themselves and all their guests, and since they couldn't fly directly to Galveston, they also need to pay for transit there from Houston. I was extra curious about how much that Bentley set them back, so I called up a local luxury car rental place, and they told me it would cost around $1,000 for a day. Oh, and how could I forget the $297 for those Swedish Fish Oreos. Adding all that together leaves us with an estimated total cost of $17,502.97. And subtracting the total possible gained, I get a loss of around $8,000 minimum. Even if my math is off by a little bit, I still feel pretty safe saying that no money was made at all.
Thank you.
2013.
I woke up this morning, I was like, well, here we go. Well, here we go.
Yeah.
Because this is like just all out of Daym in my pocket right now.
Yeah.
So we're hoping it's successful. It is,
I know it's going to be. I know
it
it's
is successful. Financially successful.
Yeah.
That's what I also need it to be, because I need to at least break even.
Yeah.
Would be nicest. I don't mind breaking even. I just don't want to lose money.
No, yeah, me neither.
So what went wrong? At the time of Cravecon, both Daym and Ken were bringing in monthly views in the millions. They very clearly had an audience. So why didn't anybody show up? Well, for starters, there was a severe lack of things to do. There was 4 panels, 3 quick challenges, and 1 extremely sad live reviewing, and that was it. Though to me it seems clear that the roster of YouTubers was to be the main pull. You know, come on down and meet and greet with your favorite YouTubers and have a nice meal. But that only works if they show up, and with half of the original list of YouTubers coming to Cravecon pulling out beforehand, that must have left a bad impression. Why spend all that money to go to Cravecon if you aren't even certain the YouTuber you want to see will be there? Speaking of YouTubers being there, one that was supposed to be there was Beer Drank Shoddy, who at the time was part of Team Daym, but due to a video he made in the past about Ken in an unflattering light, Ken had him banned from coming as a guest until he deleted the video and sent him a formal apology. While he didn't delete the video, he did send a formal apology, but soon after he said that Daym and Ken were
old bitter like him, Daym,
and then decided to pull out from going on his own volition, as the entire experience soured his opinion of the two. Another reason as to why no one showed was Cravecon was barely promoted. There was the initial announcement, which was in the form of an unedited Skype call. They announced it on their Facebook and their Twitter, but in their actual videos there was pretty much no mention of it at all, aside from a 10-second ad at the end. And when it was promoted as a convention comparable to other similar well-established conventions, just focused on food, and their ticket price reflected that, with the price being on par with conventions like VidCon and Gamescom, which are both much larger events with much more to do, for a very similar price. While the pricing makes sense when you consider that the food and all is included, but it still is expensive, and to the average person it just looks too overpriced, especially when you factor in that you still have to make it to the event. And that brings me on to the next point, and that's the location. The location sucks. It's not that it itself is a bad location, it's that it's very out of the way to get to. You can't fly there directly, so you need to transit there from Houston. This was a problem brought up so often that Daym went to defend it multiple times.
And a lot of questions are like, Daym, why are you having CraveCon in Texas when everybody lives in LA? And they said, Daym, why'd you put CraveCon in Texas? Why not go for a sure thing and put that bad boy in Cali?
The answer to why it's in Texas is because it was cheaper. Though all of these points lead into the biggest offender to CraveCon's failure, and that was the poor planning behind it. The hubris of all failed events is a lack of proper time management and preparation, and CraveCon had both. The announcement was released only 7 months before the event was to happen, and the tickets were only available a month after that. But even the announcement seemed rushed, with it just being a Skype call between Daym and Ken, and even then they admit to not having it all planned out yet.
We still haven't figured out what we're going to do in some of the breakout rooms and like the merchandise area. We still haven't figured that kind of stuff out. And we're going to be doing what, live food? At this point in time, we're doing live food reviews, possibly challenges, hopefully no vomit alert stuff. But I hope we do some really cool things with some of these amazing YouTubers.
So they essentially had 7 months to make this happen, all with minimal pre-planning, and that's just not enough time. So they had to make some cuts and limit the scope so that they can meet that deadline of August 13th.
First thing first, when CraveCon started out, I had a gigantic vision of what I wanted CraveCon to be. In the back of my mind, I wanted this thing to be explosive coming out the gate. My thoughts were bigger than where my thoughts should have been in reality.
The guests were fewer, the space was smaller, the events were lesser.
The last I heard, CraveCon has now been downgraded to a 1-hour event in the Wendy's utility closet across the street from the Galveston whatever center.
By April, Daym and Ken could see that CraveCon wasn't going to turn out how they wanted just by seeing the ticket sales. So they tried to cancel the event, but the convention center convinced them to keep it going by informing them how much was already set up, i.e. what they had already paid for.
Then I went ahead and told everybody on the content creators list of all the people that were going to be flying out there, told them all it's canceled, sorry, thank you for your support, blah, blah, blah. The organizers then contacted Daym again and said there's more that has been involved and more work that has been done that we don't know about. And basically, we shouldn't cancel it, we should continue moving forward.
That same day, they began to give out free ticket upgrades in order to drum up some attention. I couldn't find any figures to see how well that worked, but after that, they seemingly stopped trying to promote CraveCon, almost like they gave up on it before it happened. They didn't have any planned promotion for CraveCon or even notable discussion. They didn't even try to get sponsors in advance. They expected the sponsors to come to them, and other than Checker and Rallies, they didn't. They were under the assumption that their YouTuber status would be enough to bring in a crowd, talent, and sponsors, but it didn't. CraveCon was a rushed event that no one knew about, with nothing to do in a place that's hard to get to. And that's why CraveCon failed. The failure of CraveCon was a hit to both Daym and Ken's idea for future CraveCons, as well as their camaraderie in working together. By January of 2017, they had already stopped paying for the domain name for CraveCon, which tells me that they had deemed it not worth trying again. It's a shame, because Daym was obviously passionate about CraveCon, and it seemed like he genuinely wanted to make his idea work. However, the poor reception to CraveCon seemed to kill his motivation to ever do it again. As for Ken, he seemed to be mainly in it for the money, and when it failed to produce results, he quietly disbanded. Though on the bright side, as a result of CraveCon, we were finally able to figure out that Swedish Fish Oreos are mid. And that's it. That's the story of CraveCon, the convention that was never meant to be.
Welcome to 2020 CraveCon.
To start this off, I just want to say thank you to Jared333 for allowing me to use his CraveCon song you're hearing right now, as well as a bunch of the footage I had in the background. I've included his link down in the description, as well as all the other YouTube channels that I used footage from. Also, I'd like to thank you for watching this video and making it to the end. Sorry about the bad audio. Still learning how to make it sound good, and I was moving a lot while I was recording. Fun fact, it was recorded in 2 different countries. As for extra on CraveCon, I don't really have too much to add other than they probably lost a lot more money than I said, as I doubt everyone had a VIP ticket, but with all the upgrading and free giveaways, I couldn't really find a concrete number, so I thought it'd be nice and just say that they actually made a bit. But in actuality, they probably made a lot less than I said and spent a lot more than I said. But with me guesstimating, I'd much rather the numbers be less than the actual amount than more, because then it just sounds bad on them. I'll put a pinned comment below on anything else that I can think of to add about CraveCon. I honestly feel a little bit bad for Daym and Ken, as they really didn't have any bad intentions. Their worst crime was a bit of a ego and a boring event. And it's not even like the event was a horrible idea either. Like, if they turned it less of an event about meeting YouTubers and more into a food convention, it might have actually worked. You know, make it a food convention like they said it was gonna be. You know, have like cooking demonstrations or cook-alongs or something, I don't know. But, you know, less food review, more food, you know? It might have actually worked. Well, it would actually work if they put it in a place people could get to. But, yeah. If you have any suggestions for another video, let me know, and have a good one.
Welcome to 2020 CraveCon.
CraveCon is a real con.